There is no better feeling to me than disliking somebody, like having a strong disdain for someone. And then everybody finally realizing why you don't like that person. Like they finally do something where everybody, even like their biggest fans, are like, wow, that person kind of sucks. Well, that moment finally came today for CNN's Don Lemon. Let's go. Derapy. Some woman from the Republican Party named Nikki Haley. We're not going to get into her today. Like, it doesn't matter who she is. The point is, she decided she wants to run for president, and she's trying to talk down Big Boy Donald and Old Man Biden. So, as you all know, Biden's like 906 years old.
He's 80.
Trump's pretty close to 80. And Nikki Haley is coming in low 50s. I believe she's like 51. Editor Derek, let me know if I'm wrong.
You're good.
And CNN, in perfect fashion, comes in hot with our good pal Don Lemon. If you don't know who Don Lemon is, good. I'm not going to explain it. The point is, he's kind of a big deal on CNN, anchor, reporter, analyst. I don't know what they call him. Today, he was just shooting off at the mouth. Now, basically, Nikki Haley, because she's a Republican, CNN basically is well within their right to absolutely trash everything about her being. Is it fair? I don't know. I don't know enough about Nikki Haley, but I know that she doesn't, and most women don't deserve to be talked about or to this way. We are going to break down Don Lemon talking about Nikki Haley and why she shouldn't be talking about anybody's age. Because according to Don Lemon, she isn't in her prime?
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down.
Don Lemon says that the whole talk of age makes him uncomfortable, and it's not a road they should go down. He says this with one woman on his left and one woman on his right, and then proceeds to say the worst possible thing he could.
She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. Damn. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime
so
for what?
Something about Don Lemon. This woman is jumping in. I believe it's Poppy Harlow. She's jumping in trying to save him. Trying to save herself, frankly, because I don't know how old Poppy Harlow is. Editor Derek, check it out.
40.
Or the woman next to her. But they're probably not in their 20s and they're probably not in their 30s. For Don Lemon to come out and say Nikki Haley shouldn't be talking about people being in their prime. She's not in her prime. Please, she's trying to cut you off. She's trying to give you a chance to walk it back. And he just doubles, triples, quadruples down. It just gets worse. It only gets worse.
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that.
Okay, I don't even necessarily agree with it, but I'm going to bring it up. On CNN, the number one trusted name in news, this is a news network. This isn't even news, by the way. Why does Don Lemon think that him conveying to the American people what he believes a woman's prime to be cites nothing? Says if you Google it, Google when is a woman in her prime. I'm going to do it right now. When is a woman in her prime? I Googled it. I know a bunch of Don Lemon stuff is just going to come up. I'm trying to find it. At what age is this? Is Quora, not real. The Healthy Journal. No. Amazon Alexa answers. Top answer. Okay, here we go. Here's something at least. Let me see what we come up with. Let's see what the top answer on Alexa, Amazon, whatever. A woman's prime can refer to a million other more important things than how her body can be used. If your first answer was, oh, Jesus Christ. Often it's in the late 30s to early 40s, but can extend far into the 50s. The point is, Don Lemon didn't actually do any real research on this. He's just out here just shooting off at the mouth, and I really don't understand what the point is. Like, what is he talking about? Political? Like sexual, physical, like to bear children? I don't know, but I think these girls are about to light his ass up. So let's get back into it.
So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
We need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president?
What the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home.
He said that's what the facts are. The facts are women's prime is their 20s, 30s, and 40s. Look, even if Don Lemon truly believes this, and look, maybe a lot of men out there do believe this, but I've never really given it that much thought personally. But now, not only is he getting himself in trouble, like he's already screwed at this point. All he can do is get on his hands and knees and apologize, or wait until their next break and be like, guys, I was just trying to shit talk Nikki Haley. It's not personal. a woman's prime is like whenever they're happy and healthy. Like, dude, just walk it back and do anything. But he just keeps doubling down. Now he's saying, don't shoot the messenger. Don, stop talking!
When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime and they need to be in their prime when they serve, because she wouldn't be in her prime according to Google or whatever it is.
Even if this was a real statistic, to just say according to you better say something before one of those girls says something, and he doesn't. What, Google? Yeah, I would be pissed. I would be so angry at Don Lemon. You're out here having all these people, all 6 people that are still watching CNN, nice, thinking that us 2 women right here live with you are not only not in our primes, we are basically out here to defend women, because you're out here slandering every woman that's not in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. Don Lemon thinks you're not in your prime. They're trying to help you out. Do you mean politically? Do you mean to bear children? Like, brother, you're drowning, and they are trying to throw you like a dinghy or a floaty or something, and you just keep flailing. You're flailing, dude. Just stop talking. Anyways, here's an update. Headline from the New York Post. Poppy Harlow leaves CNN set after tense exchange with Don Lemon. You love to see it. A furious Poppy Harlow walked off the CNN This Morning set Thursday following a tense exchange with Lemon after he said GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley was quote-unquote not in her prime, the Post has learned. According to sources with knowledge of the situation, Harlow took a quote-unquote well-timed bathroom break and was followed into the restroom by co-host Caitlin Collins. And there's a hyperlink here that says, who recently had her own run-in with Lemon. Are we going to go down the rabbit hole? Let's go down the rabbit hole. We'll be back with Poppy Harlow in a minute. First, let's take a look at this article. Don Lemon, quote, screamed, unquote, at CNN This Morning co-host, left crew rattled. Sources. Tensions on the set of CNN This Morning have recently boiled over, with Don Lemon allegedly screaming at co-host Caitlin Collins off camera during an ugly December incident. Now, this Caitlin Collins that he apparently screamed at in just December is the same person that is now comforting Poppy Harlow, who he just told is not in her prime. So, I don't know. And here's the thing with these sources. Allegedly screaming at co-host Caitlin Collins, you're either screaming or you're not. I'm currently in the camp when it comes to hating on Don Lemon that I'm believing this woman, frankly. We just saw it happen live, so I can only imagine what's happening behind scenes. According to 2 sources with knowledge of the situation, 56-year-old... What? Don Lemon is 56 years old?
Shut up, bitch!
You're out of your prime. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting off track. 56-year-old Lemon approached 30-year-old Collins following the show Thursday, December 8th broadcast and unloaded on her.
What do you mean by that?
In front of staffers as he accused her of quote-unquote interrupting him on air. Don Lemon sucks.
You suck!
News of the explosive incident made its way all the way up to CNN CEO Chris Light, who is said to have been appalled by Lemon's behavior. Should we go deeper? So, is there another link? So, the point is, Don Lemon's a bad person. But let's go back to our original article dealing with today's incident with Poppy Harlow. It actually turns out there isn't much more in that New York Post article about Don Lemon that we don't already know. Now, he has issued an apology on Twitter. At the end of the episode, we're going to get to that apology. Before we actually check out that apology, I need you all to understand just how bad it got on Twitter before he decided it was time to apologize. Let's get to some tweets.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
Our boy Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports says, if I said today what Don Lemon just said, I'd be in jail. What a fucking idiot. I have to agree. It seems like because Don Lemon is who he is, he's gotten away with saying a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's because he's black. I don't know if it's because he's gay. I don't know if it's because he's on CNN. I don't know if it's because he's talking about Republicans. It could be any one of those things. It could be all of them. It could be one of them. It could be none of them. But the point is, it just seems like it's very rare that you see somebody from CNN be held accountable for like the ridiculous and crazy things that they say. And Dave Portnoy is somebody that cannot get away with saying pretty much anything without getting absolutely annihilated online. So great point, Dave. Our boy Ben Shapiro says,
this is one of the most sexist things a quote-unquote news host has said in recent memory, but nothing will happen to Don Lemon, of course.
Cannot help but agree with our boy Benjamin Shapiro. I don't think anything's going to happen to Don Lemon at all. I think he's just going to apologize on Twitter. He's going to go back into work. He might give like a short apology on air. Who knows? He might not. If anything, maybe he'll get a little paid suspension, but I just don't see anything coming from this. What's so sad to me about this, if I'm being honest, is as somebody that used to want to be on TV, somebody that wanted to do news, somebody who wanted to be a journalist at one point, I just know for a fact I could never get away with saying something like that to women on live TV on CNN and just assume that my job would be safe. But he can go out here and just tweet and it's all good. Disgusting! CNN live? Come on, bro. Like, it's just unacceptable. It's you should not tolerate it. There should be zero tolerance for it like this. Okay, Mr. Clay Travis on Twitter, all the right-wing superstars. Look, I don't follow this guy, all right? He's just one of the people that's commenting on it, whatever. He says,
Don Lemon says Nikki Haley isn't in her prime as a politician, but because she's not in her 20s, 30s, or 40s. Holy shit. She's only 51.
I was right.
Biden is 80. This may be the dumbest thing ever said on CNN, and I love that he cited Google as his source.
I agree with pretty much all of this. It is absolutely insane for Don Lemon to come on air and be like, yeah, she's 51. She's getting kind of up there. I don't think she can be a politician. I don't think she can be president. Joe Biden is 146.
Hey, no, stop. Just calm down.
And this man has the gall, the audacity, the nerve, the testicular fortitude to actually get on live television and be like, I don't know, 51, she's kind of pushing it. Bozo. Trash. I can already tell this tweet's going to be fired just by like the first couple of words. So this is a Mr. Glenn Greenwald on Twitter. He says,
his name's Glenn.
I'm just going to pretend what I think his voice sounds like.
The absolute utter visceral resentment that Don Lemon has for his co-host for ruining his spotlight and the contempt they return to him as a result is one of the first entertaining things CNN has broadcast in years. I honestly can't get enough.
Frankly, I feel the same way. I've watched this clip so many times. I've listened to it so many times. It's so good. It's not good because of what Don Lemon is saying about women, but it is good from like a pure entertainment standpoint just to see him get like waxed live, just to see the reaction in the Twitterverse. Like, it's good. It's good stuff. I got like one or two more in me. Ooh, Steve Cortez on Twitter says,
observations. 1. Unintentionally great TV, actually. 2. The obvious two-way revulsion between Don and these co-hosts. 3. If a straight white dude made comments like Lemon's, there'd be a media firestorm.
See? That was my point earlier. Don Lemon's black and he's gay, so like it's probably gonna be fine, which is whack. Like, I don't care who you like or how you look. Like, you can't be out here talking crazy like this. Great point, Mr. Steve Cortez. And it's unfortunate because even though it would probably benefit me as somebody that like isn't the most masculine dude in the universe and also happens to be a minority, I would still like to assume that if I said something like Don Lemon said about how women that aren't in their 20s or 30s or 40s, like they're not in their prime, like that's whack, and I should get canned and humiliated and disgraced. Now that we kind of get the vibe of the people, we are going to go to Don Lemon's apology attempt. Or I think what's supposed to like clear his name is not even really an apology. So let's go to Don Lemon's Twitter. I have to give Don Lemon literally just this little bit of kudos. The only kudos is the fact that he actually addressed this in somewhat of a timely manner, but he probably didn't take long enough because this response sucks. So this is what Don Lemon tweeted today at 12:32 p.m. He had a morning show, so like he got ate up quick. So here's what Don Lemon says in response to everybody just absolutely blasting him online.
The reference I made to a woman's quote-unquote prime this morning was inartful and irrelevant, as colleagues and loved ones have pointed out, and I regret it. A woman's age doesn't define her either personally or professionally. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day.
So it's bad. First of all, he didn't apologize. He didn't say he was sorry. He didn't even say it was wrong. He just said the reference I made was inartful and irrelevant. It actually is relevant because you talking about how old people are actually makes sense in the context of the conversation that you're having about people being too old to be in politics. But the fact of the matter is you're just wrong, and it kind of goes against everything that you've ever said before about anybody ever, because Trump was in office, he was a president, he did the job, and then he left, and the country's still like, okay. Joe Biden, who like is your guy, who's CNN's guy, is at least 6,000 years old. And I've never heard this energy for him when he is 30 years older than the person you're talking about. You don't acknowledge the fact that it's like very sexist. You don't acknowledge the fact that it's misogynist, and it's just frankly gross. It's also super disrespectful to the people that you were literally working alongside. It would be nice if you mentioned them by name. You literally don't apologize. You also don't even acknowledge the fact that you are supposed to be a news outlet, and you can't just say stuff and then be like, Google it, America. This is the type of stuff that I would hold myself to a higher standard to as somebody that just has a little podcast show, okay, that makes no money, all right? Don Lemon is out here on CNN with a whole show full of producers and people that probably research and help him write things and come up with topics, and he's just out here just spouting. So maybe he's a cheapskate and doesn't want to pay anybody to do his PR, because this tweet was clearly written by somebody who just doesn't care. So that's basically my whole spiel on Don Lemon, but I just wanted to finally have some evidence on my show, like that you heard the man's voice. We all know now that Don Lemon sucks, okay? And if you ever see me, if we're ever hanging out and somebody brings up Don Lemon, or his stupid face shows up across TV, it flashes on screen, and I say, that guy sucks, now you know where it's coming from, okay? This is not the first or the second or the third time I've heard of Don Lemon doing some out-of-pocket shit, okay? This is just the first time I decided to actually dedicate an episode to it. So thank you all for tapping in. Love you. Mean it. Check the description. If you don't have Cash App, there's a link down there. If you don't have Venmo, there's a link down there. Sign up using my referral code. Send some money. They'll send you some free money. Love you. Mean it. Enjoy the outro. Thank you so much for joining me in Derapy today. New sessions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Give me 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to my YouTube. It's free. And shout out Lobo for the beat.
Yes! Come to Papa!
Might just quit my job, but it's really not too hard, but it be draining me. She hates to see a place that do be paying me, but playing me. Need some advice, clock out and go home and talk to the wife. She's so supportive and trust I do right, but I don't want the judgment or shame that comes with the game of jumping ship too early. Beat is bumping surely, need that grease is curly. Talking about my hair is thick just like my kid's hair, but not till 30. Getting ahead of myself. Talking like there's 2 of me, but peep my podcast art, I'm working like it's triple overtime. I will go cuckoo for mine, all my dreams they are sublime. Wanted fame since I was 9, Lobo cooked this up divine. We go deeper, feel the vibe, we don't stop at season 3, feel like we is season 5. I'm at the peak of my power, I see prey I devour. If it's chess I'm the tower, thinking deep when I hit the shower. Dark thoughts, anxiety, I beat it all. Try again, then positive vibes, I let them in. Come join the boy, let's settle in. Keep it going hard, that's sediment. I do a lot with a few words, and that's like revenant. And that's funny, cause I'm a Leo. That's your ironic. Why? I don't believe in the signs, but I know I'm a star. Sun or moon, I'm like tune in, but don't look up. That's another Leo reference, now you shook up. Girls say men are dogs, but I just be in the yard.